guys, welcome back. It's Neon. We're going to talk more about comic books because, believe it or not, we still talk about comic books here on CLOWNFISH TV. Now, if you're wondering where Geeky Sparkles is, she's fine. She's actually at a convention this weekend, so she won't be in the next couple of videos. Hopefully, we can get her back maybe Sunday night or Monday. I miss her a lot, too. So, we're going to talk about the comic book industry and, in particular, Vertigo and IDW. IDW is going to start something that sounds an awful lot like Vertigo. This is kind of crazy. So let's first take a real quick look at the May 2019 sales to the direct market. They're not good. The market share is lower. May was another down month for comic stores, according to ICV2, after a big decline last month. According to information released by Diamond, with sales of comics and graphic novels to comic stores down 4.15% versus May of last year, and both were 5-week months. So comics were down 7.81% versus a 5.36% gain for graphic novels. I guess that's good for graphic novels, right? You know, we've been following this for the last couple months now. You know, comic book sales are naturally going to decline as the number of shops in business that sell monthly comic books declines. I mean, that's a kind of a duh, right? You know, we talked a couple of weeks ago about how Lion Forge and Oni Press are basically merging to survive at this point. And we're going to talk about Vertigo. So there's a rumor that DC is actually going to shut Vertigo down now. See, I thought Vertigo was gone years ago. Apparently, it's still around. It was just kind of coasting on fumes. I know there was renewed interest in the line. I think it was last year they were bringing it back and they had some new titles. But this is coming from Bounding in the Comics. And this ties into what's going on with IDW too, because IDW is basically going to create a comic book line that sounds a hell of a lot like Vertigo when their flagship line, IDW Publishing, is failing spectacularly. So I don't know what they're doing. Does anybody know what the comic book industry is doing? I have no idea. So this is a rumor from Bounding in the Comics, DC Comics to shut down Vertigo Comics. This was from a couple of days ago. So a new rumor indicates DC Comics will shut down Vertigo finally. A new rumor indicates that DC Comics will shut down their Vertigo imprint. The rumor comes from Rich Johnston at Bleeding Cool, who notes he has been informed by a number of sources. Say what you will about Rich Johnston, he does have a lot of connections in the publishing industry and the comic book industry, so if he says it's coming from multiple sources, I'm sure it's probably true. He also states that the shuttering of the iconic imprint has come from on high rather rapidly. He notes that DC Comics are revoking some contracts, returning creator-owned titles to creators, and some are being moved within the publisher. Bounding in the Comics said they spoke with their own source, and they indicated there are rumblings inside DC that Vertigo might be in trouble. They specifically told us Vertigo might be in trouble because none of the recent titles have taken off. Vertigo was founded in '93 by Karen Berger and focused on the horror and fantasy genre, with comics targeted toward a more adult audience that featured violence, drug abuse, sexuality, nudity, profanity, and other controversial topics. It would eventually house crime, social commentary, and other genres. The imprint saw success in a number of now famous comic book series, including Sandman, Preacher, Why the Last Man, 100 Bullets, V for Vendetta, the list goes on and on, Fables. So, yeah, I mean, Vertigo was kind of a mainstay of the 90s. It was sort of like I guess it was one of the first, like, I don't know if you call it like a hipster imprint, but it definitely was pretty edgy, and I think it really led the way for modern day Image Comics. Image is doing a lot of the same kinds of books that Vertigo did back in the day. So, you know, we talk about some of the controversy surrounding the creators. We haven't gone into a whole lot of detail on this channel, but there's been a lot of crazy stuff going on social media with Vertigo creators. So the creators themselves were making controversial statements, according to Bounding in the Comics. The books were not selling. Zoe Quinn's first issue of Goddess Mode only shipped 17,000 copies. The second shipped 8,000 copies, and it wouldn't get any prettier. Yeah, Zoe Quinn, you know, of Gamergate fame. If you want to be famous for that, she had a book out through Vertigo. It did not do well. So they're just talking about the sales. The sales were not good. So what's going to happen to most of the Vertigo comics? Because again, there are you know, a lot of legacy titles that are highly regarded, you know, within the comic book industry. You know, we're talking Sandman, we're talking Y the Last Man. So according to Bounding in the Comics, it said DC Comics has already set a precedent for bringing popular Vertigo properties like Constantine and Swamp Thing to TV. Yeah, but Swamp Thing's already been canceled. So after one season, it's possible some Vertigo comics might find a home with the DC Black label. I think that's very possible. They've also moved former Vertigo comics like Doom Patrol under their Young Animal imprint. I didn't think Young Animal was doing well. They definitely have room to move the mainstay titles that are finding success within live action adaptations, you know, or they could just go direct to trade, direct to graphic novel. You know, it's very possible. I mean, look, you know, Swamp Thing and Sandman existed before Vertigo was technically a thing. They were sort of the proto Vertigo titles. So it's very possible. I think Vertigo just is sort of, you know, if everybody's Vertigo, nobody is. And that's kind of how I feel about Vertigo, where, you know, again, they influenced so many like mainstream comics now that like basically everybody's Vertigo. Every publisher is Vertigo. So, you know, speaking of everybody trying to be Vertigo, I don't know what the hell is going on with IDW. IDW is launching a new imprint, or a new company called Clover Press. So Clover Press is going to be led by the company's co-founders Ted Adams and Robbie Robbins. Clover Press will focus on the book market and direct-to-consumer prestige format publications as a new progressive eclectic boutique publisher. As DC shuts down an eclectic boutique publisher, and IDW is holding on by its fingertips. In fact, they've got Alan Grafman from Archie coming in to help get the company ready to sell. Like, they're going to sell off IDW. IDW is going to go start a new niche boutique publishing operation. This doesn't make any sense to me. They need to be doing stuff that's more mainstream to stay in business, I think. I have no idea what's going on. But then the really curious thing about this is supposed to be like a boutique publisher, right? Kind of a niche publisher. The first thing they're publishing is Silver Surfer. They're publishing a Marvel book. So what the hell is going on here? I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on at IDW. Now, I said before that it would not surprise me at some point if IDW picked up the lion's share of you know, Marvel titles, because I don't see a future where Disney thinks publishing Marvel books themselves, Marvel Comics, is profitable. I mean, Disney looks for big margins, and they're just not there in comics right now. So is this Clover Press being set up to publish Marvel books? Is Clover Press being set up to basically be like a, I don't know, like a parachute or a tax shelter for IDW? If they sell off IDW, which they're talking about selling off IDW Media, is this sort of the escape route? Like they're going to divert a lot of their titles or creator-owned titles over this Clover Press and start publishing Marvel stuff over here, and then sell off the media side of IDW? I have no idea what's going on, but in this market, you know, when you're failing miserably at publishing comic books, and you're clearly not making enough money publishing comic books, starting a eclectic boutique publisher is probably not a good business plan. An eclectic boutique publisher was also Lion Forge, and they had to merge with Oni to survive. And you know, we're seeing Vertigo shut down. I don't understand the thought process behind this, but we're going to keep an eye on it. So this is really interesting, though, to watch the comic book industry sort of restructure itself. I mean, it's happening at a really shocking rate too. Like, you know, one of the big two are going to flinch. You know, it's either going to be DC Comics or you know, with Warner Brothers, because Warner Media are pinching pennies these days, or it's going to be you know, Disney with Marvel. I really do believe we're going to be in a situation in the very near future where Marvel or DC Comics is, you know, not really even a comic book publisher anymore. They're just sort of an office full of brand managers. I've been calling this for like 2 years now, knowing how Disney does business, and people thought I was nuts. They thought I was crazy, but here we are, you know, other companies publishing Marvel Comics with the Marvel logo on the cover. Like, you can't even tell this is an IDW book. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. And it's kind of scary if you've been following sort of the implosion of the comic book industry. Now, it's not all doom and gloom, and tomorrow we're going to have an interview with Matt Moylan from Udon. I talked to him this afternoon, and there are publishers that are actually doing pretty well. Now, they have to diversify, and they have to change their direction a little bit and listen to their audiences, but there definitely are opportunities out there for smaller publishers and independent creators who want to make comics and connect with their target audience. So I don't know what's going on with Clover Press. I don't know what's going on with Vertigo, but we're going to keep watching it here on Clownfish TV. Again, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, rants, gaming videos, art videos, and more. This has been Neon. I will talk to you later. Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.